Using the order of operations with signed numbers is the topic of this session. Let's take a look at our helpful hint and see what it says about this. First, combine numbers inside the parentheses. Next, raise numbers to a power. Then perform multiplication from left to right. Finally, perform subtraction from left to right. Now let's work a problem. We have -6 times -3, subtract 4 times the quantity 3 minus 7 squared. I always find it helpful to write down the rules for order of operations. You don't have to write out the words. You can just write down parentheses, exponents, MD. What do I mean by MD in the arrow to the right? I mean that I'm going to do my multiplication and division as I see it appear in the problem, reading from left to right. And the same is true for addition and subtraction. So I write AS arrow. So this is going to help guide me through doing the order in the problem. So we see the parentheses here. We look at the problem, there's parentheses. But all the calculations inside those parentheses are complete. We have another set of parentheses here, but here we have to subtract 3 minus 7. So 3 minus 7 is -4. Copy down the problem carefully. We have a -4 squared. Now that we've completed all the parentheses, we can check it off. Now look at the list. It says do exponents next. So that's our next operation. So we have a -4 squared, which equals 16. So we write down 16. Now we should recopy the problem very carefully. -6 times -3 subtract 4 times 16. Now, let's go to our chart and see what the next operation is to do. We've already finished the exponents. There's no more left in the problem. So we're at the point of multiply or divide. But we're going to work from left to right. So we start over here and we see that our first operation is multiplication. So we do the multiplication. -6 times -3 is a positive 18. Copy the problem down again. We're not done with multiply and divide because there is another multiplication that needs to be done. Now look at your work. Did you subtract 18 minus 4? If you did, then it's really important that you write this down and check off each operation as you do it so that you're sure you follow this, which says we have to finish all the multiplication before we add and subtract. So we multiply 4 times 16 and we get 64. So now we have 18 subtract 64. We're done with all our multiplication and division is complete, so we can put a check mark here. Now we add and subtract from left to right. Well, all we have is a subtraction. So we change our subtraction to adding the opposite of the second number. And we're adding 18 plus a -64, and our answer is -46. So, to help with accuracy, write out the steps and refer to it as you're doing the problem. Try a few now, and I'm sure you'll see better results.